Hello and happy new year. Welcome to the very first live episode of the Upland Forum. I am your host. I will be taking you through this year with a lot of great opportunities. And as we said, this is the Upland Forum. This is all about Upland. And in a few seconds here, I'm going to bring in my very first guest of the new year. Somebody who's very special that you guys all know and love. So stay tuned for that. I want to remind you that this forum has been established and is dedicated to all things, again, related to Upland. This is about being respectful. This isn't about bullying folks as well, too. This is about asking questions related to Upland and to keep the transparency going within our city. We're going to talk to different individuals during the year. I'm going to be showcasing spotlights on businesses within our community. I want to make sure that 2025, not only do our residents thrive, but our business owners as well. It's been a 2024 was a rough year for a lot of folks, and we want to make sure that 2025 is started in the most positive way possible. So, with that said, what do you say that I bring in our very own special guest? Say hello to Janice Elliott, former council member for here for the City of Upland. Welcome, Janice.
Hey, hi Carlos. Hi everybody. Nice to be here. Thank you
Awesome.
for inviting me.
Absolutely. I couldn't think of a better way to start off the new year and this Upland Forum Live than with the person who started this whole thing. And let's jump right into it. What do you say?
I'd say let's do it.
All right. So let folks know how the Upland Forum started.
Well, I was not reelected in 2022, and I wanted to do something where I could continue to share information on the city of Upland and its activities. And I wanted to start a community that could discuss the issues and the ideas floating around in Upland that are important to it. And I got myself extremely busy and was looking for somebody to then take over the Upland Forum. And as good luck would have it, yours truly, Council Member Carlos Garcia, said, "This is something I would like to do." So I can't be happier about this transition.
Awesome. And again, it's an honor to take over the work that you've already established here in the Upland Forum. I want to definitely take this, pick up the ball and run with it. You know, right where you leave off with it. And obviously, you're always more than welcome to join us anytime. And again, this is all city related. This is all business related. Anything that you can think of, we definitely would love to even interview. I would love to have you as a resident come on board. Let us know, how we're doing. Let us know things that you'd like to see. So there's a lot of great content for 2025. You just make sure that you follow us, follow the Upland Forum, share it out with friends as well too. And like I said, if you're a business owner joining us or listening, please uh, send me a private message. Let me know. I'd love to have you on the show as well, so we can talk about your business and hopefully help you thrive in 2025. So the other question I have for you, because I've seen lately quite a bit of posts, is about you have a new puppy, right? Well, I call them puppies. All dogs to me are puppies, right? So tell
Well,
us about this new adoption you have. And I also want to talk to you about your involvement with the Upland Animal Shelter, because I know you're a huge advocate for the animal shelter as well, too.
Well, I'm happy to discuss that. Before I do want to say that what excites me about you taking over, Carlos, is that I had this dream of being a wonderful means of communication with Upland residents, but I do not have the technology skills that you do. So you can use all of your technology skills to really reach out, to talk to other people, to share the information that I was unable to do. So I forgot to say that at the beginning. Now, about my new project, the reason why I was looking for somebody to take over the Upland Forum is I at the end of August I adopted a 10-week-old puppy, and I'm being treated for spinal stenosis and I have severe hip arthritis right now. You could say I'm in remission because I had a spinal injection that of cortisone that is leaving me completely mobile, and so I can walk 5 miles a day and I can play with my puppy. But at the time, I did not, and so I adopted a 10-week-old puppy. This was through a rescue. This was a special situation where My dog's name is Blondie. Blondie's mother was one of 50 dogs that were confiscated from a hoarder in Big Bear back in June. And
Wow.
Blondie's mom was pregnant with Blondie and her siblings. She gave birth at the Devore Animal Shelter. And at 3 weeks old, Right Fit Rescue came and pulled mom and the 8 puppies, took care of them until they were 10 weeks old. They had gotten sick, so they couldn't be adopted out at 8 weeks. So I was the first one to get out, and I chose Blondie, and she has been extremely challenging for me. I've raised puppies before, but she's a large breed puppy, and I did not think she was going to be. I thought she looked just like a lab, and I saw mom, she would look like a small German Shepherd mix, but as it turned out, she's mostly pit bull. She's got some German Shepherd, some cattle dog, and some husky, and about 14 other breeds of dogs. So she is a
Wow.
but she's very fit. She is very high energy, and she had no social manners in the house at all. And we've had to, and because of her strength and her lack of focus, I've just had to work with her all the time. Luckily, I do have I'm a certified dog trainer, but I've never done it for money. I did it when I was a volunteer at the animal shelter because I wanted to help out the dogs that weren't easily adopted. I wanted to help owners keep their dogs if they didn't know what to do with a dog problem. So that's why I went ahead and I got certified through Animal Behavior College. And
Okay, so that's something new. I never knew about you that you were a certified dog trainer. So hey, we just learned something new about Jen. It's great. You know,
and yeah, and it was a very extensive process. So I had to have an apprenticeship. I did it at It's a Dog's World in Chino, and they even offered me a job at the end of my apprenticeship, but that was in October of 2016, and I was also running to be on the city council. And then when I won the election, I had to tell them that I couldn't take their job because I was going to have a very busy life after that, so I couldn't do both of them. And it I have helped people with their dog problems, and I'm happy to do so, but Blondie stretched me with all of the different scenarios that we had with her. But she's now 6 months old. I adopted her the end of August. She's now 6 months old, and we are reaping the benefits of all of the patience and the time that we have put in with her. We have taken her to private training. We've taken her to, she is a graduate of puppy kindergarten, and she completed basic obedience at It's a Dog's World. And now she's a in daycare 1 day a week at Dogtopia, and they have a trainer there that has worked privately with her and I absolutely love that because he's with her all day long too when she's there. So he knows her well, and there's also the benefit of having the other dogs and the other helpers there. So this is something that I am very excited about. It's my hope to then get her into being a canine good citizen and as a therapy dog. And I would like to be a volunteer, a hospice volunteer, and I would like her to be working with me to help bring happiness to families when they're losing a family member. And we did this with my
so
brother. I brought Blondie over when my brother was dying, and his kids and family members were enjoying playing with Blondie as I was with my brother Ross in his last days.
I will tell you, so I can relate to that. Usually, the new year for me, and you've seen my post on there. It's usually January 1st is when I lost my mom. It was like at 5:30 in the
Oh.
morning. I remember this. So it's always bittersweet, right? I always remember this starting off the year, kind of bittersweet, like I said. But when my mom was first recovering too, and she had a stroke, and I was going to the facility on a daily basis, I'm going way, way back. We used to take my dog there too for the same reason. And what was interesting too is that a lot of, and what folks don't understand is when you're dealing with hospice, when you're dealing with handicapped parents or folks that can't take care of themselves, and you go to these facilities or hospitals, you know, you forget that a lot of people sometimes are there alone. They don't have family members that visit them. They don't have ways to communicate to the outside world, and you can tell by just walk when I walk my dog going through some of these doors, like you would hear the like they would just light up. They'd want to pet them, and you can see that it's that lack of human touch, the human connection, right? Or in this case, even the animal connection that can make such a world of difference for a lot of them. So that to say that, remember, folks, that it's kindness is it doesn't cost you anything. Visiting folks doesn't cost you anything. If you have pets that you can actually, you know, take an afternoon off and go visit folks in some of these facilities, it would make a world of difference for a lot of people. So yeah, I wanted just to add to that with what you're saying. And while we're talking about this, share with folks some, based on your experience of you adopting some of your pets and stuff, what are some key things that you should make folks aware before considering the adoption process? Because sometimes, yeah, you feel good in the moment, you go adopt, and then all of a sudden you're taking them back because, oh, I didn't sign up for this. It's a commitment. But in your experience, what if you had something an advice to give folks who are thinking of adopting a dog, a cat, or any type of animal? What would you say to them?
I would say that if you're adopting particularly from a shelter where there's some trauma, because it's very difficult for an animal to be in the shelter. There's a lot of noises, there's sounds, there's smells, people coming and going. It's hard for them to establish a trusting relationship with another human there. I mean, some dogs do and they can, but some dogs can't. The dog or the cat, the pet that you take out isn't the one that you're going to end up with. They're going to go through a lot of changes. It takes just a couple of months for them to, well, it depends on the animal, but I would say for Blondie, it took her a couple of months, I would say 3 months, for her to say, wow, this is where I live. These are my people. And where she started to really listen and care about what we said. And for me, it is important to always be very respectful to her, to be very positive, to understand that she is a child. She's got the Oh, I don't wanna say intelligence because they have ways of processing things that we don't understand, but she's got the ability to communicate at the level of maybe a two-year-old at her age, so I've gotta be very basic in my commands, but she's going to be reading my body language more than I'm understanding the words I'm saying, so I use hand gestures consistently. When I point to things, she can follow that. So the basic when I teach her a new cue, I also teach her a gesture that goes with the cue, and that helps her understand what I want her to do. And what I had to remember and what's pointed out to me as being true is that it takes a lot of repetitions for her to understand what I want her to do in all the situations. And it's not just repetitions at my house, in my front yard. I have to take her to different places and give her the same commands and give her the same treats. Oh, treats are everything. And I do also have to give her, I would say, a reprimand, but I don't ever want to hurt her. I don't want to make her feel like she's a bad girl. I will not use the word bad dog. I hate it when I hear that. It's always good girl. She's a good girl. But if she isn't, it's or when it's really like sometimes she'll get when she's extremely tired, but she doesn't want to go to bed. She will get extremely rambunctious and bitey. And then it's just like, no. And then I have to give her a command. And now, if
Right,
she's starting to bite, I'll say, no, sit, because she's really
right.
good at sit. And so then
That's
she'll
good.
just sit. And then that's the end of the biting. But that took a while. And we had some scary times. Those were the scariest things with her getting bitey because she's a strong girl. She's
I can
42%
imagine.
pit bull, and those jaws are
Right.
strong. And she's super playful. But if she won't settle down, then I'll just grab her by the collar and put her in the crate and give her some toys to play with in the crate. And it's probably within 1 or 2 minutes that she's completely flat,
Wow.
completely exhausted, because those are the times when it's the hardest. But it took me a
Right.
while to learn that, and I'm so glad I did.
So
Um,
I will tell you that this is actually going to be another episode. We're going to have you back on here to talk about the do's and don'ts of dog training. Because now that I found this out, I mean, there's a lot of great things that we can learn from you, and some of us that are have puppies, have thinking of adopting and all that. Because I think the key to this, and and correct me if I'm wrong, it's consistency. You can't expect a dog to know this like within 2 or 3 minutes. You expect them to do exactly what you want them to do. It takes consistency and a lot of training. Would you agree?
well, absolutely. It takes patience, a lot of love, and selective forgetfulness. I tend to remember some bad things, but I have to look at each day as brand new, each training opportunity as new. I use a variety of sources of information. So I subscribe to a web-based training group called Spirit Dog that has the positive um, approach that I like, plus tons of videos, tons of classes that I can take. And I'm a subscriber, so I can take all of them. And they give you tests to help you reinforce what you learn. And then you can send them videotapes of your experiences, and they can give you feedback as well. So to me, that's helpful. And then there's dog trainers that I love working with. And if you're interested in this subject, I'm not an expert on it, but I do know local. In fact, I think there is a wonderful dog trainer that subscribes to the Upland Forum that's a member. And and yeah, he is very good. He's the one that told me. I had him come over the day after I adopted Blondie, and he looked at her and he goes, "That's not the dog. The dog you think you have is not the dog you're going to end up with." And boy, was that the truth.
Hey, folks, I want to thank you guys for joining us this morning on the very first Upland Forum Live. If you didn't listen to the beginning, this is all things related to Upland, and kindly enough, and I'm honored that I was able to pick up the ball and run with it after former Councilwoman Janice Elliott gave me the green, the thumbs up and the green light. Hey, let's do this, right? And obviously, you being here, being the very first person on the show, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for all you did with the Upland Forum. We're here at the end of the show, folks, and as of yet, I have not decided on how I'm going to do this live. It could be twice a month, but you just have to tune in. So I'm going to keep you guys guessing. But just know that everything in the Upland Forum group is related to Upland, whether city news, things that are coming up, things that you need to watch out for, and obviously put in your any concerns or things that you have that we can address. Obviously, there's a limitation because of the Brown Act that there's some folks in there, other council members that are in the group as well. So we have to be really careful about things that we comment on or things that can be said. So just know that we can always have private conversations, or you can always join me at the last Saturday of the month with coffee with the councilman. I'm always there every last Saturday of the month. We pick different spots so we can showcase and help also foot traffic with local restaurants and businesses. So Janice, we're at the tail end of our show here. Any last parting words?
Yes, I want to thank you so much for your service to the City of Upland, your commitment to transparency, your friendliness, your outreach, and I am so thrilled that you are going to now take over and make this something that we can all learn from. Thank you, everybody that's contributed in the past. I have enjoyed knowing and getting to know you, but I'm going to still be there, so I will continue to be looking forward to seeing your messages and your thoughts as well. Happy New Year's to everybody.
All right, folks. And again, thank you for joining us. If you didn't catch the beginning of the episode, do a rewind and watch it fresh. It'll be there now in the Upland Forum. We just posted as well too. And until next time, stay safe, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.